Hi, my name is Dave Green. I'm the author of The Missing Link and Movable Chords. You can find them on Amazon. And tonight we're going to go through a little bit of a lesson out of the book. It's how to master the fretboard. And we're going to do that with octaves. And an octave has a certain pattern, and we're going to start with G. Right here is G on the E string, 3rd fret. This note will always be G. It will be nothing other than G ever at all in the planet. G. So what we're going to do, we're going to find another G, and we're going to skip a fret, and we're going to skip a string. So the next G we're going to find is on the 5th fret on the D string with your ring finger. We have a G here, and there's another G. This G will always be G, will be nothing other than G, anytime, anywhere, anytime on the guitar. It will always be G. You can count on it, you can bet on it. This is G, this is G. Now we're going to take this G, we're going to put our first finger on the D string in the 5th fret, and we're going to skip 2 frets and 1 string, and we're going to come down to the B string on 5, 6, 7 on the 8th fret, and that note is also G. So if you look at the pattern, we have G here, we're going to skip a fret, skip a string, G, 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 G. Now we're going to put our first finger on the 8th fret B string, that G, and then we're going to skip a fret, and we're going to come up to 8, 9, 10th fret, A string, and that note is also G. Now we're going to come up here with our first finger on the 10th fret on the A string. This note is G. It will always be G. It will be nothing other than G ever. We're going to skip a fret, skip a string, come up to the 12th fret, and that note is also G. Now we're going to come up to the 12th fret with our first finger on the G string. That's a G. We're going to skip 2 frets. We're going to come up to the bottom E string on 12, 13, 14, 15th fret on the bottom E. That is also a G note. That will always be G. It will be nothing other than G ever in your life. So, has a definite pattern. Start in the 3rd fret E string, G. We're going to skip a string, skip a fret, and that note is also G. Those notes are all G. Now, if we follow that same pattern, we can go all the way up here to G sharp or A flat, same number, same note, and this one we'll use A flat. Alright, so we're going to use the same pattern. We have A flat, we're going to skip a string, skip a fret, that note is also A flat. G sharp, A flat, same note. It will always be A flat, it will be nothing other than A flat ever. We're going to skip 2 frets and 1 string. We're following the same pattern. We have A flat here, A flat here. Put our first finger here, come up here, A flat, A flat, A flat. 11th fret on the A string. We're going to skip a fret, skip a string, and we'll come up to the other A flat. And we're going to follow this one, 13th fret on the A flat, and we're going to skip a string and 2 frets, and that note is also A flat. Alright, so G. Now, what are we going to do with all that? Well, if we follow the major scale pattern from G, we've gone from the low G up to the next octave. Now from there, we can do another G major scale. We've gone up to this other G. We've done 3 G major scale patterns. We could do a G major scale pattern here at what is this, 7, 8, 9, 10th fret on the A string. That's that other G. That's the other G in the scale pattern. We could do a G major scale from here. G. That's how we master our fretboard. A. Do the same thing, follow the same pattern. F sharp, do the same thing. Same pattern. You can do that for anything. Let's go to C. Skip a fret, skip a string. That note will always be C. This note will always be C. C. Skip 2 frets, skip a string. Skip a fret, skip 2 strings. Skip 2 frets, skip a string. These notes are all C that I'm hitting, following the same pattern. And C is way up here. So, D. That's D. What are we going to do with that? Same thing, major scale pattern. D, 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 D. And that, my friends, is how you master your fretboard. Find one that you're familiar with. G. Do the scale pattern. Do the pattern. That's how you learn your notes. These will always be G. That's a G. G major scale. That's it for tonight. Thank you so much. Happy strumming.